Lando Norris won a race. Like an actual race.
We're starting off strong.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Highland Fox. Today we're talking about the Miami Grand Prix, or the Lando Norris won a race Grand Prix. Thoughts?
Yeah. So, hey everyone. So, Miami is not my favorite race on the grid, not gonna lie. I don't like that we do a sprint here. I think it's boring. I honestly thought the first half of the race was boring. We were sitting on the couch like, okay.
We even had friends over and we're watching the kids instead.
So we were discussing like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Stuff like that. And then all of a sudden...
a Williams, just like Gotifi, ends up in a wall. And all of a sudden the race gets interesting.
Yeah. So Lando Norris was winning and kept that win till the end. And I wanted to say at first, I was like, oh,
Max will catch him.
Yeah, Max is going to catch him. He's obviously going to be a DNF because, Max has engine problems. That's why Lando's winning. And then it didn't happen that way.
No.
And McLaren had a really good race. Well,
yeah.
I mean, Piastri was doing really good.
Until Sainz.
But, McLaren looked really good this race.
They really did. Their new upgrades seem to really have worked. Mm-hmm. Because not only was Lando winning because what happened was the safety car happened. Lando was in first. He didn't pit yet. He pit. The safety car picked up Max in second because they just assumed he was winning.
And there's Lando.
And Lando's a lap ahead.
All off on his own.
So they had to figure that out, which was hilarious. But then, so he's in first with the safety car. So everyone's bunched up. Mm-hmm. And then ended up pulling a 15-second gap. It was 15 seconds, right? Something like that. It was like a big gap on Verstappen. I think it was less than that. It was probably
I don't
10
think
seconds
it was,
or something. But he ended up pulling away from Verstappen. He didn't just hold off Verstappen.
Yeah.
So those new upgrades from McLaren, they might be legit.
I'm still kind of in shock. I cried a lot. I'm trying not to cry right now because
And you're not even a Norris fan.
I'm not. I like him.
Everybody's
I don't mind. Yeah, no one hates him, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I was just so emotional. I couldn't breathe that last lap. And I swear they had 3 laps to go for 8 hours. I don't know about you. It was definitely the longest 3 laps.
We were talking about that. I could probably, if I had I don't have the skill, obviously, but if I had the skill to drive an F1 car, I could lead for 50 laps. Those last 7, I would put into a wall. I'd be so nervous.
Yeah. That last lap, I was
just keep it on the track.
Oh my gosh!
Don't beat Russell and put it into the barrier for no reason.
But I think this is a day that all of us have been just come on, man, waiting for.
Yeah.
So Lando Norris has won a race, and holy cannoli, was it awesome and amazing, and the podium was fun, and I was emotional. Everyone was emotional. Everyone was happy.
It was a good time.
Yeah. So thank you,
Max
Lando,
was excited
for making Miami something.
Yeah. And
what
Max,
a fun place to party, though.
Oh, I can't even imagine. He changed his flight.
As he
Yeah.
should.
Lewis told him to.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was cool to see Lewis excited, Fernando was excited, Max was really excited for him.
Yeah.
That was my favorite podium of the year.
Yeah.
Because it was Leclerc who's friends with him, Max who's friends with him, and then Lando. So everyone was just so excited.
And to see other team principals celebrate with him.
Yeah, Vasseur joined the McLaren party. He wore a McLaren cap and sprayed Lando.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It was so nice. It was I loved it. Loved it. So I could talk about Lando winning forever. I could watch him winning and the podium and him crying for a very long time. But I won't because I'll keep crying. So what else happened in the race?
So Kevin Magnussen exists. That is something we wanted to talk about because it was in Jeddah, I think we brought it up, that he was getting penalties on purpose to keep people behind to help Hulkenberg. To help Hulkenberg get a point. Right? Haas, all those points really matter.
Yep.
Well, the sprint race, we said it was a sprint race, and we'll talk about that next. But he did the same thing. He was, throwing Lewis off the track. He was driving pretty dangerously. He got 30 seconds in penalties.
It was more than that. Was it 30 seconds?
Well, then he got 10 or 20 in the actual race.
Okay.
So we got 4 penalty points this weekend. He got a lot of things, and he was like, I hate driving like this, but this is what we have to do to get, the to get the points that we need for Haas to keep going. So the question we had is, how do you stop that? Because that's not sportsmanship.
No, and I think it comes down to like what he was kind of saying, and I think Hamilton and a few other people were talking about it. Like it's dangerous at that point,
right?
And these are here to like prevent you from doing that or to like keep you. So at this point, it's like, okay, you do it once, like we'll warn you twice, you get a penalty. 3, I don't know, black flag, like get out.
Yeah,
like
because it happens, right? Like people bump each other, like. It happens.
Yes, things
when
happen.
When you're knowingly driving like that.
And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's not even the second time it's happened.
Yeah.
So at this point, like, Haas is bending the rules. Yeah. And I understand points matter. I do.
Especially for them.
But, like...
At what cost?
This is ridiculous. You're kind of making a joke of it. And
he hates doing it, but it's like it's right. What else are you gonna do? Like he's playing with it. Like when in 2022 when Max and Leclerc were doing the DRS chicken, right? That's dumb too. But luckily nobody's been close to Max since.
But no, I think like putting yourself and others at risk and then causing like causing such a backup on purpose and knowingly getting penalty points on your car again and again and again.
So last point on this before we move on to the sprint race itself. Does he get suspended for a race this season because he hits too many penalty points? I think he only needs like 3 more before he's suspended.
I mean, then that's 1 more race.
Yeah.
So, I think Kevin
Magnussen
halfway through the season. So I guess like all you need is like that bump to push them ahead of the rest. So maybe they're going to say like, oh, hey, Hulk got 7 points, so we're fine,
Take the loss.
But
we're going to see Ollie Behrman again. Because if Kevin gets suspended for a race.
So as exciting that would be, that I don't know, I just think this entire precedent is just
unfair,
and I don't like it. I don't like this like unsportsmanlike conduct from a constructor. I understand the driver has to kind of do what his team needs, but you're a constructor, and I don't know, I hold you to a higher standard than that. So there's a lot of dirty stuff happening this year, as we know from off track. So I think we
Red Bull.
I think they should be holding themselves to a higher standard. But that's all I have to say on that.
Speaking of dirty stuff, we'll go over this very quickly because this has happened right before the Miami GP, and we weren't planning on talking about it, but I just thought of it. Adrian Newey is leaving Red Bull. We haven't talked about that yet.
We haven't, but I think like because it's like all over the place, and it's just a rumor whether he's retiring, where he's going to Ferrari.
But he's still gone, even if he leaves.
Yes, he is still leaving Red Bull.
That'll hurt Red Bull. I know they say it won't, but I mean, it'll hurt.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll talk about that when he actually does something of value, whether he retires or goes to Ferrari.
Yeah, but he's leaving Red Bull. Holy cannolis, Batman! What's happening?
Crazy.
So
last thing, sprint. We're probably going to make another video on this because it's probably going to be longer and we have a rant to go on. And I think I fixed the sprints. So keep an eye out for that video. But what do you think of a sprint race in general? How do you feel about the whole existence of them? It's back-to-back with China. How do you feel if in Miami?
So I feel like we talk about this all the time, but I think...
Nobody's listening. They haven't fixed it yet.
Come on, F1. Listen to us. I think sprints have the opportunity to be fun, but...
Brazil.
I don't think Miami's the right track.
I
don't think Monaco's your choice either, but I think there's one too many, and I don't think there's enough at stake to make them worth much.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of them. Obviously, I love racing. I want more, but I feel like this is like meh.
Yeah.
Like an afterthought, especially at Miami. I thought it was super boring to me.
Yeah. It was interesting. There was like a couple highlights. Norris got spun out immediately. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, that doesn't bode well for the race, which, spoiler alert, he ends up winning.
Danny Rick got 4th.
And Danny Rick got 4th. So the Honey Badger was back and immediately went 17th in qualifying the next day. So where the hell did that come from?
And like, I know everyone kind of had like a weird sprint qual thing going on. So like everyone was like all over. Well, not even all over, just slow. So that was weird, but like the actual race itself, other than Norris. Yeah.
Because Danny Rick held off Sans for like 19 of the 19 laps. Mm-hmm. Like Sans was in DRS the whole time.
Yeah.
He just couldn't pass him.
So
when a Ferrari can't pass a Visa Cash App Racing Bulls Toro Rosso, Minardi, whatever their name is now.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, but good for Danny
Yeah.
Rick. It's always exciting to see him do well. He had a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
So,
But,
all right.
Yeah, we'll talk more. I feel like we have an event and like kind of like a discussion and what could possibly be done to make some sprint races better.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be in another whole video.
Right. Yeah. So anything else on Miami? We have a 2-week break and then it's Imola. So anything else for Miami?
No, I'm just my eyes are still red from crying over Norris, and congratulations, and I'm floating.
Yeah.
High.
All right. Well, congrats, Norris, and we'll see you guys in Imola.